Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are diving into a really exciting topic, Docker deployment. I'm going to walk you through a Docker deployment script that I have created and show you how you can easily set up your own projects with it. Whether you are new to a Docker or just for a streamlined deployment process, this video will help you get up and running in no time. So agenda of this video is overview of the Docker deployment script, setting up your environment and deploying your app. This is the boilerplate script that I have created few weeks ago. So I'll quickly go through it and show you. So the script is very simple and clean. It will help you to install everything from Docker to Docker desktop, uh, certificates from Let's Encrypt and running up Nginx and everything. So it start from install.sh. So in install.sh, here are the print commands that we are using for different type of messages. So the script start from here. First we check the dependencies. So this check dependencies method basically what it does, it uh, checks for whether curl is installed or not. If not, then it raise an error. Then check for Docker. If it is not there, then it install the Docker. So here we are installing the Docker, and then the next step is for to install the Docker Compose. Here we are installing the Docker Compose. If it is not there, then it will be installed. The latest version of Docker will be Docker Compose will be installed. Once this is done, so this is the check dependencies method which will be executed. After this, like when Docker and Docker desktop are installed, we'll go for check existing DB value. So this method will be called, then we'll call this check existing DB volume, which will check if the volume is already there. If volume is already there, then it will ask to clean all those old values and do a fresh setup. And then once this is done, then we'll check for the get config, and like we'll be copying the config.toml.sample file to config.toml and .env file to .env file. In I'll show you config dot. Then in config.toml we have an config. You can write the configuration for app. So you can for this video I have only added the address which will be localhost 8080, and you can add configuration related to the DB. So I have added DB host, port, user, password, database, SSL mode, maximum open connection, maximum idle connection, maximum lifetime. So you can add more configuration, whatever you want. The configuration your apps require, you can add it from here. Same goes for we have one more file that is for .env. So .env.example. This file is used for storing the secrets, AWS secrets, which tell you in the later part of the video why do we need AWS secrets. So let's come back to our install.ssh and uh, let's move to get config. So in get config, basically we are copying this sample file to ML file, and what we are doing in between the process, those credentials will be asked and those will be overridden here in config.toml.sample. So I'll go back. Then we have this modify config. And modify config, what we are doing, we are modifying this config. We are reading the password, database password from the user. We are replacing that password, and then we are changing all those places. Like for example, we are changing the those host and db.localhost with host.db in config file. So basically we are using docker db, so we are replacing it with docker db. Then we are changing the password here, which we have right now get from the user. Then we are changing the host name, so which address we want to use. Similarly, you can, if your application requires admin username, admin password, or any other credentials, you can ask it from the command line, and that will be replaced here. So that I'll show you when I'll be doing the demo. So then we are modifying the docker compose.yaml. In docker compose.yaml, we are basically using this docker postgres passwords. So that will be replacing in the docker compose.yaml file. So let's come here. So the modify config is done. We'll start the Nginx. So start Nginx is calling this script, which is init lets encrypt.sh. So in this init let's we have to pass some configurations, which is domain name, uh, your data path, email, staging, whether you are downloading those certs for staging environment or not. So that will help you in avoiding the hitting request limits basically. Then we have two methods. I have added two methods. One is webroot and another is DNS route 53. So you can use either of the method as per your environment and infrastructure. Whether when your instance or basically your domain is from route 53, then you can directly use DNS route 53 certbot plugin, which I'll show you in this video how both can be configured. So in this, we what we are doing, we are just loading that environment variable file. Once that is loaded, then we are checking for whether certificates are already there or not. So it is a decision from the user whether he wants to renew those certificates or not, replace the existing certificate. Then we are doing one thing here, like we are downloading TLS parameters. We are and then creating dummy certificates for the domains. So I'll show you how it is running when we'll go in deep into the video. So we are using OpenSSL for that, and once that is done, we are starting the Nginx. So uh, we have to do this, like we have to install this certificates, dummy certificates, otherwise Nginx won't start. And if Nginx won't start, so in webroot what we are doing, so in webroot what method we use, we basically use the acme challenge, acme challenges. So in acme challenges, what certbot do is basically, or what those certificate providers do is, they, to verify the domain, they try to hit the request to a particular domain name which we have given, and for that no domain name, we will be having some path for the acme challenge. There will be some string on that path that will be served from our server where that particular domain is running. uh, and to verify that, we have to run the Nginx, correct? So to run the Nginx, we need Nginx. In Nginx configuration, we are passing those uh, certbot configuration, basically cert configuration. So we are passing these are the certificate configuration which are we will be passing in for the Nginx. So we'll be passing this path etc. I'll show you the Nginx config file, then it will be more clear. So we are passing these path. So for Nginx to start, these path must be there, otherwise we'll not be able to hit the request to http 80, and the technique challenge will never happen. So this is more like a chicken egg problem, who comes first. So yeah, so once this is done, once we have done this, so what we are doing here, then once this is done, then we are starting Nginx. Once Nginx is started, we will be deleting those dummy certificates, and then we'll be requesting the certificates from the certbot. And when we will be requesting the certificate from the certbot, here we are doing like making a domain args string, then we are making email args string, then we are verifying if it is in staging mode or not, then we'll be passing that. So we have two methods here. One is webroot, another one is DNS route 53. So using webroot, we will be using in this demo, we will be using the webroot method, and another one is DNS route 53. So I have written the configuration for uh, both the methods, so you can use this uh, variable to uh, define like which method you want to use. So I'll come here and we'll be using those webroot methods. So what we will be using, so only the difference is here we are using in both the cases we are using certbot. One is coming from certbot route DNS53 image, another one is from certbot, and then here we are using webroot method. So everything is same, only the things which will be changed is like I have already shown you, like we were using those environment variables, correct, for AWS access key and secret access key. So here we are passing those variables. So that is the only difference here, and everything is same. And once this is done, we certificates are fetched, we reload the Nginx. I'll show you in the video like how it is good when we'll be doing the demo. So once this is done, I will come back to install.sh, and install.sh we have started the Nginx. Then Nginx we have run this script. Once Nginx is started, we will start the service. In while starting the service, we are starting a two service app and DB where where these services are. I'll show you that also, and then show output. Once this is done, we'll be showing this output like finishing setup is done, and if both the apps are running, and we'll show like this is running at. Okay, now I'll show you Docker Compose.yaml. How what Docker Compose.yaml. So Docker Compose.yaml is very simple. So it has app. So for now, this app is having a image from Golang. So basically, I am trying to deploy the Go application with simple application, which will just show you hello world in the screen. So yeah, hello world in the screen. So it is a very simple application. I have not even written the entry point.sh or creating a custom image for it. I'm just using this command where I'm creating this main file, and this main file is serving the request, HTTP response and request, and it is just printing the hello world, which is listening the server on 8080 port, and we are running go run main.go command. And here one more container that will be running a service, which is DB is using Postgres 13, which will be running on 5432 port internally and 9432 port outside. So here we are running a DB. So and then next is our Nginx. So Nginx we are passing this thing, which I already told you, like we are having this data Nginx where we install those configurations files from GitHub certbot repository. Some of the files, options, OpenSSL, and dfarms. Yeah. So this is done. We are opening two ports, port 80 and port 443, and then we have this certbot. I already told you we will installing two certbots on the basis of the method which we will be using. So for now I have comment this DNS route 53 plugin. So I told you like we'll be using certbot DNS route 53 image for, and we will be using AWS route 53 DNS service to verify the domain. Now in this video we will be using the certbot image, certbot image, and this is like where it depends on Nginx, and here are the volumes, and then I have created volumes and network. Show you this data Nginx, what we were doing here. So this is how my nginx.conf look. So what it is also very simple. So it is listening on two ports, listening on port 80 and listening on port 443 using SSL. So port 80, this is the place where I was saying like we'll be using Acme challenge. So well-known Acme challenge. So this is the path where certbot webroot will be hitting to verify the domain. So now coming back here, for server name we have example.com, and this you have to replace with your domain name, like whatever domain you have. And then server token is basically used to print used to not show the Nginx version uh, on the browser, so in headers basically. Then this what this is doing, it is what it is doing, it is just doing 301. It is redirecting all the requests to it to the same, like host will be same, request URI will be same, just it will be making it HTTPS. Once it is HTTPS, then we're listening on 443, server token is off, server name is same, like uh, example.com, www.example.com, all will be converted to example.com. So then we have this SSL certificates, which I was talking about. We'll be using this. So this configuration, that's why we require those dummy certificates. Otherwise, Nginx will say this example.com or some your domain name basically does not exist, and it will give error and it will not be able to make the Nginx up and running. So that's why we need dummy certificate. And then we have these two files which I already talked about. Like we have installed it from GitHub certbot repository, SSL defum and this OpenSSL nginx.conf. Once this is done, then we have this location. Or we are what we are doing here. We are doing basically reverse proxy. So we are doing reverse proxy to app 8080, which is my another container running on 8080. That is my app. So in your case, if you are renaming it app to something else on the Docker Compose, then you have to rename here also, and the port number also, and then everything is same. We are just showing the IP and host. So yeah, this is my Docker deployment script. It is very simple and clean to use. So now I'll show you how we can deploy this. So now I'll show you a demo like how to deploy any. So just let's do one thing. So I'll show you how to deploy the application to Lightsail. So I'll show you in this video how to deploy your apps to Amazon Lightsail instance. So Amazon Lightsail Instance is basically it helps you build application and website fast with low cost. Everything is pre-configured, cloud resource, security groups, everything. Like Lightsails offer basically easy to use virtual private servers, VPS instance, containers, storage, database at more cost effective and monthly price. So benefits of using it is like it will help you create a website fast, scale easily, security and reliability and other things. So we'll quickly jump into the video now, like how into the demo, like how to launch a Amazon Lightsail instance. So we'll be launching a new Amazon Lightsail instance. So I'll go here. So I already have when you come to this dashboard, you'll see like it will be empty for you, or if you have already have worked with Lightsail instance, then there will be some Lightsail instances set. For me, this blogs.codelogs is already running, so it is running here, codelogs. And you can check this out and read blogs on codelogs.in. So this is the same like in codelogs.in. I am using Docker based deployment only. And so yeah, so I'll help you get started. So we'll start with creating a new instance. So we'll create a new instance. So then first thing we have to do is to uh, change the instance location. So where you want your instance to be, in which country it should be reside, like, and where the traffic will be coming from. That is the main question. The closer your instance is to the user, the less latency they will experience. So for now, I'm in India, so I'll be choosing this Mumbai, and then we have to pick our instance image where we have to select a platform, whether it will be a Linux or Unix machine, or it will be a Microsoft Windows machine. So for me, I'll be going with Linux Unix machine, which have 28 blueprints. I'll explain you what is blueprint. So blueprints, when coming to blueprints, so I have selected here Linux Unix. Now we'll have to select a blueprint. So you can select either app plus OS. So app plus OS, if you are selecting, so app plus OS means that operating system will be installed, and on the top of that app will be also installed. For example, if you want to deploy Node.js application, so Node will be installed pre-installed, like when you will be using this environment. If you want to LAMP or PHP, then it will be installed. And if you want to use Django, then you can use this one. Nginx, then you can use this one. Or Ghost, you can use this one. So basically, this will be available pre-installed to you. For now, we'll be using the operating system only. So I'll just go and click on this operating system only. Then I'll just go and use Ubuntu 24.04, which is a new version of Ubuntu Noble. So I'll be using this Noble. And then you have an option to add a launch script. So we'll just add a launch script. So what we want to first update it, sudo apt minus add update. And one more thing, we have to install the git. So I'll just install the git, sudo apt minus get install git minus. Once this is done, our git is installed, our uh, OS is updated. Then I'll just create a new user for basically deployment. So I'll do sudo user add minus m, will create a directory slash home slash uh, that username. So I'll name it as docker. Yeah, that is fine. Once this is done, we can just now I think we are good. So we'll do this only, and then we can do change SSH peak here. So this will help you to deploy any app. So I'll just delete this one and create a new one for this. Create new, create new. I'll just create a new one for this. I'll name it Docker deployment demo generate KPI. Yeah, I can download it. So it is downloaded here. And then we have an options to basically create a snapshot for the image or not. So I'll skip this. We don't need any backup for this operating system as of now. And then we have to choose a network type basically. So dual stack, we have two options, dual stack or to go with IPv6 only. So in dual stack we have available both the IPv4 and IPv6 addresses. I'll go with dual stack. Why? Because the git or github doesn't is not compatible with IPv6 only, so it requires IPv4, otherwise we'll not be able to do the clone. So I'll go with IP v4 and v6 both. And here are the you can select the size as per your requirement. So I'll be going with this one. So it is 1 GB to virtual core CPUs, 40 GB SSD, 1 TB transfer. But is it transferred like in and out of the data, like over the period of time, from the Lightsail instance to your browser or your browser to Lightsail instance. So first 90 days it is free, and we'll just rename this to Docker development demo. Yeah, we are good. So you can add keys and key value tag if you want. So I'll skip this part and just one more thing. I'll verify. Yeah. So I think we are good. And I also will make this as a super user. Mode minus AG and my username, which is Docker in this case. Yeah, make it sudo Docker. Yeah, so now we are good. I'll just launch this instance. So I'll do create instance. Some names are already in use. Docker deployment demo. Okay, Docker. How about Docker deployment? Yeah, Docker deployment. Yeah. So let's wait till this is up and running. Till then, we'll explore other features. So we have this container. So you can directly, if you have written Docker file and your entry point dot ssh is there, like your entry point is there for your Docker image, then you can directly use this also like containers. So I'll explore this part of this light sail feature in another video. And moving to database, so you can create a new database. So you can launch a new database, either MySQL or PostgreSQL is available. You can choose size from here, and you can map it to your instance very easily. Like Lightsail offer all those features, integration and all those things. Those are very easy to do. Then coming to networking, in networking you can have any static IP for your instance. You can configure CDN for your instance. You can configure load balancer for your instance. So all those features are also available. And like, next move to storage. Storage, you can either do the disk or you can use bucket. So bucket is basically S3. So S3 storage will be available to you. So object storage service will be available to you. And if you are using disk, then you can basically anytime you can upgrade your disk. Like you can increase the size of the disk, use it from here. And coming to domain and DNS, so here, like Lightsail provides a very good feature. Like you don't have to go anywhere in the Amazon. Like everything can be done from Amazon Lightsail dashboard. So here you can do the DNS mapping. So I already have this codeblocks.in running. So I will just go and you can see like these are the name servers. I have bought this domain from Spaceship. So I have registered all these name servers there. Next to assignment, in assignment, my codelogs.in is connected to blogs.codelogs. Blogs.codelogs is nothing but that particular instance name, that Lightsail. So we'll create a new entry here just for this demo. We'll create a subdomain, and subdomain will be docker.codelogs.in, and we'll have a destination which is Docker deployment. This one we will be using the IPv6 address, and we'll just doing the assign. So it is assigned. So docker.codelogs.in is the place where we'll be saving our changes like when it is deployed our app. So here we have the Docker deployment. And coming to DNS records, there will be a new entry. So docker.codelogs.in is now routes the traffic to this particular IP address. Now I'll show you how where is this IP address. I think our instance is up and ready. So I'll go here. So we have as this is networking type is dual stack, so we have both IPv4 as well as IPv6 address. So this will be docker.codelogs.in will be resolving to IPv6 address. So here we have some configuration. We can connect directly from here using SSH from here only. We have some metrics. Metrics will show us the sustainable zone and bustable zone. You can explore this part on your own, and I'll be covering all these features in some other video. Otherwise, this video will be very long. And this we can take snapshots, which we'll skip. Storage I was talking about. So here we have a disk attached 40 GB, so you can create a new disk here. So we have this storage part, so you can create a new disk and you can attach to it, and then you can increase your disk size. So coming to the networking, yeah, that is a part where we have to change. We have this IPv4 address available to us, or you can basically create an static IP and attach to it. So now currently we are having only two rules, SSH22 and HTTP 80. So now we have to add another rule. We have to add HTTPS, which will be port 443. So I'll create this, and so this is done for IPv4 as well as for IPv6. We have this 443 port. Load balancing for now we don't need it. Distribution we don't have. So yeah, coming to domains. So as we have added correct docker.codelogs.in, so it will be resolving to public IPv4. Tags we don't have. We have not added any tags while at the time of launch. You can edit from here if you want. And history we have, like all the things will be recorded here, which will be changed. So let's now let's jump into deployment part, like how we'll be deploying. So I'll connect using SSH. So it will take some my new user. We have created new user at the time of the launch of the script, correct? So we'll go. So here we go. So ls this home slash docker due to -n this directory is created. So I want to first do one thing, change the password of this. So I'll go to my root, I'll do sudo password or username docker. Good. New password. I'll write a new password. Password updated successfully. I'll just jump into my new user, which is docker. So we are in our new user. If I do, so we are into new user. Now we have to do one thing. We have to just we have to check whether git install is not. So my git is also there. Git version 2.4.3. So I'll just take clone of this. So clone this side. Git clone. It will be cloned. Done. This clone. Jump to this directory. We are into this directory, and so I have all these files which were there. So now I have to change those files domain names configuration. So if you go to this my readme.md, you will see like clone the repository, which we have done, create a .env file which we don't need because we are not going with DNS route 53 method. Then we have third step is modify configuration. Add domains and email address to init.letsencrypt.sh and replace all the appearance of example.com with primary domain. Okay, so we'll do this step. So I'll just quickly go back and install the nano editor. Install nano. My nano editor is installed. So, yeah. So now I quickly modify those files. So we'll start first with our this file, those domain name. So we have to modify this init let's encrypt.sh. So nano init let's encrypt.sh. So here we go. We have to change the domain name. So I'll mod change the domain name to what's our domain name, which was docker.codeblocks.in. We have to change the email here. So my email will be saved. So add a valid email address. Why? Because uh, then that certificate will be expired. Then that basically Let's Encrypt will email to you that your hey, look, your certificate is expired and you have to renew it again. So and we have this production environment, and then the method we will be using is webroot. We have two methods, webroot or DNS route. So you can change it from here. So now coming back to our, I already explained you, we don't need any modification in this file. We are done with this file. Okay. Then we, I think we have to modify this. I'll check whether we have to modify install.sh or not. Install.sh. So here we don't need, I think we don't need any modification here. Yeah, we are good. We are good. We don't need any modification here. One modification which we needed is in Nginx config. So I'll just quickly jump there. Here we have to replace the domain name. So we have to replace this example.com with our domain. So this example docker.blocks.in. right? Here we go. Here also docker.podlogs.in, and here we go. In this example also, here we'll be replacing docker.codelogs.in. Here also we'll replace it docker.codelogs.in. Done. We are done. We are good. Yeah, I'll save this, and yeah, we are done. And we are done. So I'll just quickly run the script now. Install.sh, enter. So it has started. So first step is installing the Docker, which it is doing right now. So Docker is getting installed. And, when Docker is installed, the next step will be installing the Docker Compose. Yeah, so now I think Docker is installing. Docker is getting installed. Let's wait for it. My Docker is installed. See, it is active and running Docker application. Now we'll be installing the Docker Compose. So Docker Compose is also installed. Docker Compose version 2.3.0. It has now checked for existing Docker DB volume, as it is a new setup. It doesn't have to do it. It has copied config.toml.sample to config.toml, config.env.example to .env. It had modified. It is right now in the stage of modify config.toml. So we'll have to enter DB password. So we'll enter the DB password. Done. DB password is done. Then see, it is downloading. It has downloaded those recommended TLS certificates. Then it is creating those dummy certificates for docker.codelogs.in. So it is pulling Nginx image. Nginx image is pulled. Now we are running the apps. Now certbot image is getting pulled. Certbot image is pulled. So starting the Nginx. If you look here, it has run this step, starting Nginx. Then after starting Nginx, it has deleted those dummy certificates for codelogs.in. Then it is requesting Let's Encrypt certificate for docker.codelogs.in. Once it is done, uh, this is asking for now the confirmation. So we'll say yes. Done. So it is now you see it has account registered. Now it is requesting a certificate for docker.codelogs.in. So successfully it has, I'll show you this where it has done. Coming here. So yeah, successfully received the certificates. It has successfully received those certificates. Here the messages got printed, and after printing this, it is reloading the Nginx. Nginx is getting reloaded, and see, like, it is now up and running. Yeah, we forgot to change the example.com in the install.ssh, which I was looking for. So I will check now if our apps are running. Docker PS. So Docker PS, we have all the three containers running. One is for Postgres, uh, another one is for Nginx, another one is for Golang app. So I'll just quickly check the logs. So, yeah, yes, logs. We'll check the Nginx log. Yeah, Nginx. I've I'll talk. I've already talked about this. Like there will be an Acme challenge. So here we go. So there was a GET request from Let's Encrypt to verify the domain. See HTTP. So that's why we require dummy certificates. So this process is done. Now we'll just go and see if that docker.codelogs.in is up or running or not. So here we go. See, we have hello world and connection is secure, verified by Let's Encrypt. Here we have the certificate. Yeah. So we have this working. So we are able to deploy docker.codelogs.in into the Lightsail instance using a simple script by modifying some configuration. We have covered almost all part of the agenda which we have for this video. Overview of the Docker deployment script which I have given you, then setting up the environment where we have changed all those domains and everything, then deploying our app using install.sh, that is also done, and docker.codelogs.in is running, is up and running. So thank you for watching this video, and hope you will be also able to deploy your application using the script which I have created. So please check out that script. Please subscribe to the channel, and also if you have any feedbacks for this particular video, you can add your comments. Feel free to add your comments. Also feel free to contribute to my script. If you see, like there are various use cases currently I missed out in the script which I will be covering in the future. If you want, you can contribute. I am open to the contribution for the script. Let's thank you everyone. Thanks for watching the video.